Should get on my drums. Jam in the background.
All right, everyone. It's the one and only V the I'm losing it, guys. It's Monday. I was going to say V the Glorious Gorilla. Oh, my God. V the Gorilla Economist. And I'm with our main guys here. And we have our special guest. We have Jay Snip from JSnip4 YouTube channel. You guys know him. He needs no intro. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. We got the entire crew here. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be discussing a lot of things. In fact, Snip's going to be running the show. I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to hand the command chair over to my man Jay Snip over here on the Starship, I don't know, crypto prize.
That's it.
And I'm going to run it. So he's going to, we have the live session going on YouTube, so you guys can ask your questions and whatnot. If you're a troll, if you're a shiller, we're just going to throw you out. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
With that being said, Snip, what's going on, man? How are you?
Been doing good. Been following you guys, of course. Sending a lot of my former Trade Call members over your way as much as I can because of the kind of work you guys do and the results you guys have been producing. And I actually have come to hear, as far as your Trade Call group goes, you guys are now accepting crypto payments. Is that right?
Yeah. Hey, this is Frank. Yeah, we started last week. And people were begging for a long time, so it took us a little while to put it together. As you know, it's hard to take a crypto for a subscription service. Yep. So, yes, what we did was this: we're still doing cash for people who want to go month to month. So, if you want to check it out for a month and test it out, we're still only taking cash for that. But for those of you who are all in, you're traders, you're ready to be a part of it, we're offering at a great discount. At the moment, it's 5% and 10%. You could do a 3-month subscription at a 5% discount, or you can do a 6-month subscription at a 10% discount. Now that's 10% off for the entire 6 months. So you get 10% off each month that you're paying for. So that's right on our site. You go to thecryptoschool.io, you click on Watch Us Trade. That's the trade room. We have the Crypto School video series for crypto newbies who want to learn how to use Coinbase and stuff like that. But if you want to watch our traders trade, then you go to Watch Us Trade, obviously. So go to thecryptoschool.io, click on Watch Us Trade, go through that page, click on Join Now, and you'll get the opportunity to either pay in dollars for a monthly subscription or in Bitcoin. That's the only crypto we're accepting is Bitcoin. Bitcoin for a 3-month subscription or a 6-month subscription, and we will get you set up very quickly and get you up and running. So we're really excited to have that, and it works really well. It's a very easy process. Just fill out the form, submit your payment. We'll have you in real quick.
Cool. So you guys have been watching you, and also my trade. What's going to be my former, Trade Call group in the near future. I think because I'll ultimately shut the whole thing down. But been trying to get as many people over there as many of my subscribers know. I've let them come in as admins basically, so that they can chat and show some of their handiwork, if you will. And give some calls and some things out that I've worked a deal out with them that they'd come over and, give some valuable information, some potentially good trades to make some money here. So I know going back months now, these guys have been, in a bear market, it really shows who, the ones that can talk about how good they are and the ones that, actually are. And I followed them for quite a while. And look, I've seen a ton of trade call groups come and go. And again, if someone can do well in a bear market, you don't even, and I haven't yet to see them go yet because we haven't been in the bear or the bull market yet. So it's like, okay, they've done pretty damn well in a bear market. So what are these guys capable of in a bull market? I'm actually excited to see that because I follow what they do too. I don't just refer people over there. I actually watch what they're doing too. So. Anyways, guys, I've been seeing some of your posts on the Telegram. You really keep people up to date with every little movement about, we're looking for an entry point. Okay, no, wait, no, we're going to watch this one for a little while. Next thing you know, boom, okay, we're ready. You jump in. I don't know how the hell you have the kind of time you have to sit and stare at this stuff for so long, but I guess especially Crypto Z, you live, eat, and breathe this stuff.
Joe, our guys are full time. This is what they do. So they like we tell them they need to take more breaks. This is all they do is sit in the room and trade cryptos. So I mean, you're getting a tremendous amount of attention in the Watches trade room.
Yeah, and unfortunately for everybody on my side, because YouTube's playing games, I can't live stream till October. But they're live streaming now, I believe, and I'll just simply upload this to my channel, afterwards, so everyone can see what was going on. Because a lot of my subscribers liked when, from time to time, I'd have Jay or someone on. We talk about charts or whatever, and he'd show potential outcomes and things like that. Just kind of a crypto market update, kind of like what you guys do, day to day. We weren't doing it day to day, more like every few weeks or so. But I do get a lot of people that request that and ask for that and that sort of thing. So. What are you guys looking at right now? Any particular coins that are kind of tickling your fancy, so to speak, or anything?
Yeah. No, definitely. Well, we got for starters, we got Bitcoin, of course, and hopefully it's clear, guys. Can you guys hear me fine?
Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay, yeah. So for starters, Bitcoin, of course, with the market being so fragile, especially this last couple weeks, and mainly this last week, guys, we made some good money in altcoins. We're sticking in Bitcoin because the whole thing regarding the ETF rejection, unfortunately, is a bearish marker for the overall sentiment of the crypto space. It isn't the only ETF that's going to be proposed. However, this is a fairly large one, and it's the second time they announced an update, and it was rejected. So that was a little step back.
Hold on. Z, are you saying that the Chicago's Mercantile Exchange and CBOE, their ETF was officially rejected? Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm talking about, I told you that. Well, the other one. So I'm talking about the Winklevoss.
Okay, because the listeners might not know the difference, and we want to make sure that we're sending the right message.
Okay, so guys, there's many different ETFs being proposed. There's many different ones. The Winklevoss twins, which is arguably the most successful crypto traders ever in this space. They essentially, I think they invested like 25 million, and now they're well into the billions. That's how much gain they've gotten over the years just in Bitcoin. And they submitted 360 days ago. They submitted a proposal to launch ETFs. They were rejected by the SEC, and then 180 days later, they released an updated proposal. That update recently, or actually last week, was rejected. This is not the only ETF that has been proposed. This is just one. So, unfortunately, though, because there's such big figures in the space, it caused the market to sort of be shaky. That's just how it is. The market is very new. We talked about how the fact that the other day, for example, Facebook dropped $112 billion. And that $112 billion, guys, is almost the entire market cap of Bitcoin. So this space is very young. It's got plenty to go. And so because it's so young, you're going to get a lot of volatility when it comes to speculative news. And that's just how it is. And that's where manipulation comes into play. And we can talk about that later. But there is one coin that two coins I'm actually going to talk about. One, the last time we were on Jay Snip's show, we talked about Mandala and how it was an ICO at that time. Mandala, just 2 days ago, it was listed on Fork Delta, and so the Mandala team, because they're an exchange themselves, they actually reached out to every single DEX exchange out there, like IDEX and Fork Delta and so forth, and they actually are requesting for trading to be halted. They don't want their tokens to be traded, so there's very little volume. However, a little bit of volume was put onto Fork Delta, and that little bit of volume right now, just yesterday, was a 4.5x from its launch. So already 4.5 times already from our entry point. And right now it weaned down a bit. It's going up, but it weaned down a bit. And right now it's roughly, I think, about 1.5 to 2 times X on that. And, these are just little perks that, you'll of course get with Watchers Trade and with, just the overall team. So, stick with Jay Snip. He can definitely bring you the right path. And finally, the next coin, guys, I've been talking about this for a while now, is actually Encash. So some really big news that not many people are actually talking about, but India. So we talked about how India banned crypto before and how they're really bearish on crypto, and then that we need India to be a little bit more bullish. But at the end of the day, India is there's a lot of poor people in India. Unfortunately, the GDP in India is terrible, but India still is a major powerhouse, especially when it comes to development and supply chain. And so there's a coin that was developed in India called Encash, Nucleus Vision. Massive coin, guys. I've been talking about it for a while. They have massive money behind it. And recently, two major things played in India today. One, Huobi, which is one of the largest exchanges out there, is now accepting the India rupee transaction for OTC trading.
That's massive.
Exactly. So no one's talking about this. So this is stuff that I had to dig around today about this morning, and so no one seems to be talking about this or caring about it. I don't know why, but yeah. So now you can buy Bitcoin in large amounts through OTC's trading desk platform for Bitcoin.
Through
So
Huobi's
Huobi's OTC trading platform. So they have both an exchange, but they also have a trading desk platform for OTC.
And you can do that with the Indian rupee. That's what
you can do that with they allow the Indian rupee now.
Okay,
so that's one very big thing. And then two, the second thing is Encash. So we talk about how Encash is an Indian-based coin, guys. Encash is actually going to be launching a conference. It's going to be called the International Blockchain Congress. This is number one. This is the first one they've ever done. This conference, I don't know why they call it Congress. I really don't. But some reason it's called the IBC. It's going to be launched on August 3rd. It's going to be hosted on August 3rd. And India's government, the actual government of India, will be co-sponsoring the event. This will be the first step for India to start generating more crypto development from their country. So the fact that the actual government is going to be going in with Encash on this conference is a very big deal. And, I've been talking about Encash for a long time now, guys. This is a coin that I'm very bullish about long term, and the fundamentals are incredible. And yeah, it's starting to play out. I keep telling everybody Q4 is going to be seems like it's going to be really good for Encash. And the money behind the team behind Encash is incredible. And it's finally starting to play out. And this could be the start of a very big movement for the second largest country in population.
Well, it kind of reminds me of what happened with Neo. That thing came out for nothing, went up.
Yep.
How many times? I don't even know. It was sick.
Oh,
how
man,
high it
ridiculous.
Went up. And the Chinese were absolutely bonkers over Neo. You know, formerly known as ant shares or whatever. But this is I'm almost having a flashback thinking about this. So I'm taking some notes over here off to the right. Encash. Sounds good.
Encash, yeah, Nucleus Vision, Encash. If you guys do a little bit of digging behind it, there's some very large things in the works behind it. And of course, I think that some of your viewers really like TRX. TRX actually has a testnet launch today of their virtual machine. This will allow dApps to be easily built on TRX's platform. I don't know how bullish of news that is.
Well, we actually, the room just made a nice percentage on TRX. I want to say it was 6 or 7%. And so basically, and this was during the time that we were actually talking to Joe's room as well. So Crypto Z and I got to watch that or to make that. And then rooms were entertained by watching us make that. Because, of course, we don't really give financial advice. We just let people watch us do our thing. And but we called TRX right when like all of the alts really bottomed, right when Bitcoin was rising up, and so we had this end of the month testnet release coming up, and TRX is one of the few coins I saw do a certain kind of movement after the alts were kind of like all drained. Two of them were TRX, the other one was XLM, and we made a bunch of money off those. So there you go.
Yeah, so we got that, and then two other things, guys. Just really quick. One, I know this doesn't really matter, but it's a good insight for the regular media to know about cryptos. Kim Kardashian actually was at a charity casino event over the weekend, and she flashed a novelty Bitcoin chip, and of course she Instagrammed it, Snapchat, all that other stuff, and she's got a massive following. So that was actually pretty good news for the crypto space. Even though she probably doesn't understand cryptos, she bring the average person in front of cryptos is cool. And then finally, IBM and the Forex giant CLS launched a blockchain app store for banks. They are currently developing a blockchain app store for banks. So IBM right now, if you guys actually take a look at Facebook, during the whole crypto ban of Facebook, IBM was never banned. It's kind of funny. It was, I was going through various ads on Facebook, and I saw that IBM wasn't banned, and it's because IBM does not have a cryptocurrency. They're publicizing their blockchain. So IBM is looking to create their own blockchain, guys. It's going to be supply chain. They talk about, from point A to point Z, supply chain blockchain. And they are in the works right now with trying to create a coin themselves that is non-volatile. So the one thing, of course, that a lot of institutional investors hate is the fact that cryptocurrencies is so volatile, which means there's so much money to be made, but there's also so much money to be lost. And so IBM, I guess, today launched out with the Forex giant CLS, launched out a blockchain app store for actual banks. So that's really big.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's a lot of things working out, a lot of things moving, guys.
Well, the G20 summit a few months ago, they called for regulations to happen by July. So it might be that, some of the wheels got set in motion, and that might be why we're seeing a lot of bullishness, kind of this combination effect, right, of all these different things coming together, institutionals talking about getting in. Z, I know you had mentioned Cohen. Tell us about some of the bigger guys that got in.
So some of the bigger guys that got in, guys, before. So this is, these guys all talk with each other. I'm assuming all of these high net worth guys that deal with finance. They're probably all having golf together and playing golf together and stuff like that. Steve Cohen is one of the largest institutional investors, guys, in terms of individual net worth, his personal net worth in hedge funds. So he is roughly worth $12 billion hard. And he invested not that much money, I mean, comparable to what he's worth and what he's usually investing, but he invested $125 million, I believe, into a crypto fund into the market. And 2 days afterwards, Goldman Sachs announced, the president of Goldman Sachs or CEO of Goldman Sachs announced that he was going to be offering crypto options for his clients. So it's kind of funny, how all these things kind of domino effect together, right?
Yep.
So yeah, and then I'm sorry, guys. One last thing, I totally forgot to mention this. Bitmain. For those of you who don't know who Bitmain is one of the largest, it might be even the largest hardware manufacturer for miners in Bitcoin. Bitmain actually owns the one of the largest Bitcoin mining pools out there. I believe it's called Antminer or something like that. Anyways, they reported that their first quarter that they made over $1 billion in net profit. That's how ridiculous they are doing. Wow. And they are planning to do an overseas IPO. So more and more big money is just coming in, guys. So let this kind of be like a little like bullish uplifting, guys. That even though it might take a little bit longer for the bull market to come in play, but personally, I have no doubt the bull market is going to be coming in play, guys. A lot of big money is coming into the space. These guys are making a ton of money, and they're going to want to keep making money. And I think what a lot of people do is that they don't actually take a look at the space outside of the United States, right? Here we are trading in the United States, and we're only looking at what America is doing. But they don't realize that now India is moving, now Asia is moving, China with Bitmain is moving, all these pieces are moving, and the US isn't stupid, guys. They obviously want to have a big play into this. So what's going to happen? You're going to get big money from the US coming in. So we follow through.
Yeah, I mean, based on all of these things that we're talking about in the fundamental space, it is being reflected in the price. And so what you're seeing a lot of, bullishness. They tempered the bullishness with basically an announcement about an ETF that fell through from months and months ago. Like they reapplied, it fell through. So people freaked out. and they saw ETF bad. Like ETF didn't happen, and there was a big sell-off, and this was last week. We have since recovered, and we're actually seeing a lot of bullishness that happened since then. On the chart, I'm bringing it up right here. I'm going to zoom out a tad so we can get some perspective. So this sort of bull flag looking thing here, I'm real careful on Bitcoin with my market structure. I'm not really very quick to call things bull flags, but basically the price kind of popped up, a lot of bullishness right here back in kind of the early July 20th, July 21st, around then. And the week before that, we had the big massive rise, everybody's partying. And then we have a consolidation. And to my pleasant surprise, we actually stayed above this in this 79 to say 83 range. So this is kind of range bound right now. And it's back to doing its Bart Simpson thing. For those who might not know, we call these Bart heads. This is an upside down Bart Simpson head. So it looks like the algorithms are back in play, and I have been tracking those. And there's a lot to talk about on that subject. We actually talk about it in great length over at the Watch This Trade room. I've been able to call to a certain degree of statistical accuracy how these Bart heads are going to go which way. And anytime you can do that on the technical side, then you have pretty much a printing press. And I'm not always right, but I'm right often enough to outweigh the wrong.
That's all that matters.
Seriously. Like you win, you lose. But if you win more often, in fact, Crypto Nico Z and I are, we get to entertain everybody by talking about cash management. And cash management is a form of, it's a mathematical way to ensure that the maximum loss to your total book is 2%. And then that happens, let's just say you have a gain of 12%, and then you have 4 or 5 losses at 2%, you're still ahead by like 2 or 4%. So it makes it such that the losses are limited and the gains can run free. And in crypto, I mean, that's just anywhere. And of course, none of this is financial advice. Always talk to your, licensed financial professional before entering any kind of trade. It's a risky thing to do, folks. So that's Bitcoin, and the market pretty much is following. So a lot of people have questions about the alts, and the alts in general, from like a macro technical perspective, the alts tend to run once Bitcoin has a pump and stabilizes, and we're starting to see that. I'll zoom out just a tad. So we had this crazy couple of weeks where we went from like 6,100 all the way up to 8,400. This is beautiful. In fact, Crypto Nico Z called back here to get in at like 5,800, and he got all this rise up. And I think he got out, somewhere in this area. So he was actually able to re-enter at about 61. And then I entered at about 64. And then I exited at about 77 or 78. I'm a little bit more conservative. So I tend to enter when it's more of a sure thing and exit when it's more of a sure thing. It might be that Crypto Z does it just as sure as I am. He just read the chart better this time. So I'm not saying that Crypto Z does not do things that are sure. I'm saying this time he kind of kicked my butt in the charting department. Let's put it that way. So we have, we have wins on either side. And when we see a stabilization above a resistance, which the 7,900 is an important resistance, and it has been for this whole year. When we see a stabilization above that for like maybe a week or a few days, what tends to happen is the first sign of an alt run is when Ethereum begins to run. Ethereum has not been running. So, we've had some alts. We've actually had some wins in the room. And then yesterday, it seems like the market cooled off. I had a couple of my calls just stop out like really quick. And so we're just kind of waiting to see what happens with Bitcoin before we're really going to jump heavy into alts unless we have some kind of opportunity. I think XLM got us.
Real quick, Cowboy. Snip, is there a way you can move your camera to like the lower left corner? I just got this from my producer, CJ. This way we can get you out of the banner. There we go. Better.
That cracked me up the way he just slid along the side there.
Cool.
Oh, I missed it. I'm going to have to go back to it.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was very tap dancing. Right? Sort of slid.
We'll call that the snippy slide.
The snip slide.
Hopefully that did the trick.
But yeah, look,
Awesome.
if we can.
Can you do it again?
Yeah, do it again.
Ready? Here we go.
No, come on, do it again.
Here we go.
Can I do sound effects?
All right, sorry. I'll mute myself again.
Perfect. All right, Joe, go back.
That's so funny.
Yeah, now everybody can see you.
All right, beautiful.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm sure there's a conspiracy theorist out there. It's not really Joe. He got his face blocked. But yeah, from a technical standpoint, I think that the market is still just like a lot of people think it's a suckers rally. You know, if you look at the, I'll see if I can bring this up really quick. It's the market. Here it is, right here. I got it. Whoops, I don't got it. It's the Wall Street psychology chart. So basically, it talks about the market cycle and what goes on psychologically with people. And for some reason, I'm just having a hard time with it. But we literally are following that. For those that can just kind of see, I can't seem to blow this up. Hold on, open link in new tab. Maybe that'll do it.
Hit that first link.
It's first link. What?
Maybe
this one.
Yeah, click it. Then I just want to take you to Medium is all. I think it just wants you to click the link.
Oh, okay. I got you. So go in here.
Right there. Well, that one's Twitter.
Yeah. Maybe if I just go to that. So I want to blow this up big. Well, maybe this is big enough right here. So this market cycle, which has a little screen pollution on it, and for that I apologize. What you're looking at here is like this would be, say, this is any market cycle. And down here as it goes down, I wish I had a better copy, folks. I do apologize. Hopefully we can just kind of be, easy on me for that. But this looks to me like maybe a big low. And then you have these rallies where there's this disbelief. This is a sucker's rally, right? So a lot of times, like, that might sell off. It might be a sucker's rally, but it might also be the new recovery. And we're only going to know once we have a sell-off. So basically, I think that August 10th is going to be a pretty big day. I do have actually a pretty well-informed opinion on what I think will happen on August 10th. We are talking about that over at the Watch This Trade Room. So it's a great place to learn what I think. And what I think came from a bunch of professionals who are greater minds than mine when it comes to this sort of thing. So I wish I could take credit for it, but it's just good info. So, in the meantime, we have until the 10th. And the market is sort of scared. Like, Bitcoin reaches a certain point, people sell all their alts to stay in Bitcoin. You get a bunch of alt runs, you make a bunch of money. All of a sudden, all the alts die like they did this morning. That was a lot of fun. People are just a little bit scared, and it's understandable. They've been mistreated by Bitcoin for so long. Bitcoin's been yelling at them for not doing the dishes, or they've been yelled at for not doing the dishes, and not cleaning the house, and they're scared that they're going to get denied their dinner. So yeah, they're just real skittish right now. Skittish tombs. Does anybody have any coins that they actually want to see?
Yeah, so there's a few coins. Let's take a look at XLM, Neo. XLM.
So this is Stellar Lumens XLM. I'll blow this up and.
Yes, Santana. From time to time, you guys will see Joe inside the Watch This Trade Room, guys. He's a busy guy, so it's always tough to track down these guys. Of course, they've got their own. They're not trading like us daily guys, like 24/7. They've got a lot of other things going on. But you guys will definitely see Joe. You guys will definitely see Dave from X22 and all these cool guys that you guys love to talk to.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's a cool community, and we're really happy to have Joe with us. So XLM, we have a big flag, and so this is on the daily chart, everybody. So those who might be new to looking at a chart, what you're looking at is each one of these bars that you see, these red and green bars. That's 1 day's worth of price action. So we do talk a lot more about candles and how to read them over at the Watch This Trade Room. So you have a pattern here, and this is a bullish pattern, but it's over such a long term. I mean, this started out in like January. So essentially, this will take a little while to play out. I drew this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 days ago. And so basically I forecasted for everybody's entertainment purposes that from here it would go down. And of course it did. It went down, it went up, and now it's going down. I think it's going to continue to go down. One thing about pumps, which is we actually bought this pump. I think it's when Bitcoin sort of topped out, and we all bought, like me and Crypto Neko Z means we all we bought right about here. Right? And it actually went down, and we were kind of worried, but not so worried, because we knew that there was a trend line that might be respected, at least a trend line forming, and surely it did. And then it just blew up. And there's a lot of news. XLM hit, they back here, they got announced that they will be going on Coinbase, but then that announcement was kind of tempered off. Coinbase made like another announcement like, hey, we're probably going to do it, but we have to make sure we can. Price dumped a little bit. And then all of a sudden, there was some news about XLM being used in like 70 different countries, and the price just rocketed up. And we got all that. We made like, 15-16%. I mean, if you sold at the top of the wick, you made more, but I didn't sell there. Rarely ever does anybody sell there. I wish I sold there, but I sold just kind of in this area, and I pulled about 16%. And this was about a day or two before, maybe 3 or 4 days before, we got into, Joe kind of paid us to do our entertainment over in his room. So everybody could have been a part of that who was in the Watch Us Trade room. They could have been entertained by that. So far, I think we're going to fall. We might play around. I don't think it's going to be a straight line, but this is what I see happening through September. And maybe early September. That's what I think is the most likely path. Neo, somebody wanted to see Neo?
Yeah.
Okay, let me find that. Give us just one moment.
We got Neo. We got Digibyte. We got a few. We got a few things. Neo, Digibyte, EOS, Litecoin.
Joe, do you have favorites you want to look at? Mr. J Snip?
No, actually, those ones that you were mentioning would be sufficient. I'm
a little concerned about Neo. Neo is, I'm looking at the daily right now. I have to kind of reset it because it's needs to be reset. Just 1 second. Oops.
While he's talking about that, guys, just like I said, last week we had that huge stock drop with Facebook dropping, a ridiculous amount, especially for, 100, I think it was like 112 billion. It might even be more than that. But either way, guys, this is actually a really good thing for the crypto space. So I'm pretty social media active with all of my other crypto buddies, and it was just a huge rally, guys. All of a sudden, if you actually looked at Twitter, you just saw so much disregard for Facebook, and so many eat that for banning crypto and ads and whatnot. You had all that spreading around, guys, and it was actually as much of it, obviously we don't want to talk smack, but as much of it, it was actually pretty cool to see the whole community sort of rally upon that as a collective group, and it's always good when we have that kind of commodity.
Well, you're a pretty young guy. Facebook is kind of done for the youngsters, right?
Yeah. So Facebook, no one really uses it anymore, guys. In terms of the younger space, it's mainly Instagram. Not even, quite honestly, Snapchat is even taking a big hit. It really comes down to Instagram. Instagram is the power player.
Well, I'd say Snapchat. We don't really do any stock stuff, but on this channel. But I did see a massive drop in Snap. I actually was. Yep. Seeing that happen. So
Twitter actually dropped today as well.
Yeah, so IG is kind of where it's at. But with when it comes to Neo, we're looking at we're in the middle of a big retracement. Chart wise, I think we're going to hit some. I would be staying away, but we're on support right now, so we might see like a bounce or two in this area. It might get like one of these sort of green death rattles on the way down. Harder support, deeper support is going to be somewhere around 1800 Satoshi, maybe 1850. That's where we bottomed out before. And since before that, if it goes below that, then we don't really have that much data beyond, say, Fibonacci retracements and extensions to tell where it's going to go next. So Neo, Z, is there anything FA coming up with Neo
No, actually Neo, unfortunately, actually had a really bad hiccup. So we talked about Neo releasing blockchain 3.0.
Oh, they got hacked or something, didn't they?
Correct. So, we talked about how Neo was transitioning from blockchain 2.0 over to 3.0, guys, meaning that there's going to be faster transactions. They can scale better. dApps can, transact faster. There's going to be cross-chain performance. as well as security is huge. There's no large company is going to want to develop, adapt, and throw a bunch of money towards something that is poor in security. Simple as that. So Neo actually recently got hacked, guys, and it actually was pretty unfortunate, and it's showing its price. They got hacked, and they a bunch of spam transactions were sent through, and it clogged the entire network, and it was just like unbearable. And it was actually, it opened a bunch of I think various back doors into a few things. So it was actually pretty unfortunate. So for right now, Neo is definitely in standby, guys.
Well, that's that's unfortunate. Although it does seem like, I mean, there's a lot of people who say, "Oh, Neo has stuff going on in the background and all that." I mean, if I was to look at an Asian coin that's kind of an infrastructure coin that's platform type, I'd be looking at Ven or Vet, as it were. I mean, Z, did we make a bunch of money on Vet as it came out? I think we're up like a lot.
Yeah, we're up a lot on Vet. More recently, guys, Vet actually has the airdrop. There's going to be the first Thor airdrop to Vet holders on August 1st, guys. So that's tomorrow, or no, 2 days. So I'm sorry, 2 days from now. You guys will be able to get that Thor airdrop. I suggest that you guys, go check that out yourselves, or if you guys are inside the Watchers Trade Room, that's something that we can help you out with. But yeah, if you guys are involved in this inside that, check that out, guys. It is on the 1st of August, and you guys will be getting Thor. And right now, because Thor is so new and there's no price discovery with Thor, I mean, it's still in price discovery, I should say. Thor, last time I checked, was up like 700%, guys. It's something ridiculous. It's just like when gas was first announced, right? When gas was first announced and it was trading, gas was like on par with Neo, and then people were like, Tika from Palm Beach Confidential was saying that gas was going to be like $100, and it was just all sorts of craziness. It's the same exact way right now with Thor, guys. Same exact way. Some of us have been in the space like Jay Snip for a long time. He's seen that. So I see the same thing happening with Thor. Personally, that's what I see.
Oh yeah, I didn't gas make it to like $35 or $40 or something like that.
Yeah, gas made a lot of money for a lot of people, man. Especially people that were holding Neo for a while inside the wallets. Neo was great for that, guys. Neo was one token that I had no regrets hodling because it paid that awesome dividend, guys. People. There were some people that I knew personally that were making like 50 grand a month in gas. So just holding their Neo, guys, and Neo was blowing up at that time. It was like heaven for them, right? So yeah.
So no, it's Vet I think is better situated, and I mean, Z, you found Vet when, like, before it existed. Vet was one.
Yeah, long time ago. We found Vet in like what was it, October, I think. Yeah,
this is what we're Z and I we basically are dorks. We just like trade all day. And Z like reads white papers and stuff. And so we're sitting in the parking lot.
They have no social life, folks.
We have no social life.
Don't have no.
We're gonna go get together to go hang out, and instead we had our computers out trading in the car. That's what happened.
These are the only two.
I'd like to have seen that.
When they go on vacation, these two nut jobs, what they do is actually bring their laptops with them, and their girlfriends and fiancés just absolutely can't stand it because they sit there on the beach trading. Like, who does that?
I was online yesterday for my birthday, and my girlfriend was like, "What are you doing right now? Like, put your phone away. You're not going live." I really want to go live yesterday for my just like kind of hang out with the crowd, so everybody could see us and anybody could ask me any just general questions, and she was not having it. She's not having it, guys. That's why I escaped to the dog park. See? That's why I escaped to the dog park. She doesn't come with me to the dog park, and that's why I'm always there.
Yep, exactly. Trading, and that's what I do.
She's gonna leave you at the dog park.
Live shows from the dog park, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
that's gonna be your new home if you're not.
Snip, I don't know if you know this, but Z is notorious for doing live shows from a dog park.
I didn't know that.
Somewhere in like California, He'll do a live broadcast.
Oh my god, that's funny.
because no one bothers me, you know.
Yeah, it's a good point. Hey, it's a
Well,
good
at least
point.
you're not doing a live broadcast from the bathroom. That's where I go when I want to be left alone.
Oh, the worst part is when I got to do an important conference call, and this guy is at the dog park, and you hear dogs barking in the background. Like,
It's pretty bad.
And we're talking to like major figures in the space, like big time people, and so, like what the hell's going on over there?
No, nothing. It's a TV.
Yeah, it's a TV. It's like that's like 19 dogs. I can hear the different breeds.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Vet's killing it. Vet, I mean, I'd say it's in a bull flag, but with such a brand new coin, the thing with new coins is there's no history, there's no baseline, there's no price discovery. So with the coin that came out last month, I'm not really going to talk too much about it beyond short-term moves. It's showing some bullishness right now. So I think it's definitely going to go up. I think it could go up soon. That's where I'm going to leave it though on that. We could take a look at what Litecoin. I think people want to see Litecoin, right?
Litecoin. While he's pulling up Litecoin, guys, I just kind of want to, might as well do this. This will be a little special for since JSnip is on our show, guys. I just want to talk about my strategy for this week. And of course, these strategies change, depending on the market, guys. But this is how I'm going to approach the week. And this is going to be like a JSnip special because he's on here to show. But of course, I'm going to be going in depth with that inside the Watches Trade Room, so you guys will be able to follow along on what I'm doing. But right here, so with the last week's recap, right? So last week we had that huge rise up from 7,600 to 8,400. We had the ETF rejection. The Facebook stock dropped, but it kind of brought the community together. What I'm personally going to be doing, guys, is that for starters, of course, I'm going to be monitoring the progression of ETFs. That's just that, if you are going to be in this game, in my opinion, you have to know the news, and the news is so important, guys, especially when something like this dictates the entire market. Right now with Bitcoin's dominance is at 48%, which means that if the ETFs go bullish or they go bearish, it's either going to cause a massive run up, or if the ETFs go completely bearish, it could cause a trigger down, guys. So we have to be in front of it. That's very, very important, right? Like, if you're in a war, you're going to want to know the news. So number two is I'm going to be setting tight stop losses on every single altcoin trade that I get into. Now, we will be doing altcoin trades inside of the Watchers Trade Room. These are some of the calls that we get into. I'll let you guys know what I'm getting into and so forth, and same with Cowboy. But I'll be setting tight stop losses in all of them because of how fragile the market is. I want to protect my profit, even if it's 1 or 2%, guys. I want to protect that profit, and so I'm going to be setting tight stop losses. Number three is I'm going to be passing on every single ICO opportunity out there right now. There's a lot of ICO opportunities out there. You see a lot of these big figureheads on YouTube talking about the next moon coin and so forth. Personally, for me, I'm going to be passing on ICO opportunities just because with regulations sort of coming in, unfortunately, these projects might be withheld from the U.S. You never know what could happen, guys. There's a lot of crazy things happening. SGT report the other day got locked down. Crazy sort of regulations, guys. And I don't want to, have a bunch of money out there, and all of a sudden, guess what? Somebody says, "Oh, I'm sorry. You were from this region, and sorry, you can't be involved, and I'm not gonna give you back your money." So that's the last thing I want that's going to happen. And then finally, my main trading focus for this week is going to be in Bitcoin. It's going to be cycling through Bitcoin, in and out of Bitcoin, and stacking Satoshis that way. That's personally how I'm going to focus on this week.
Dude, that's crazy, because that's what I'm doing too.
Oh, look at that, man. It's almost as if we talk very often.
Yeah, it's we actually made some good money, as I talked about earlier. I think I did personally 6% or 7% on bet on Zen. I traded about the same, like 7 or 8% on TRX. Made about 15% on XLM. Could have made more. So I was able to win back some of the Satoshis I'd lost, and that was awesome. And so yesterday we had like Crypto Neko and I had some very small bets on some assets that stopped out. I saw a couple others that looked ugly, so I just got out of them and told everybody, "Hey, I'm all in Bitcoin, and we're just going to be like doing the Bitcoin thing." So one of the assets that I would look at, that I might have a small bag somewhere on some ledger or something would be of Litecoin, because I might have some of that left. And would definitely be not in Litecoin. Now, I think that Litecoin is a great coin. Everybody accuses us of hating Litecoin. It's not true. I think Litecoin at the time that it came out had some great technology. I think that unfortunately we need some new innovation for Litecoin to have a successful future. Looking at the chart right now, in terms of Bitcoin, we've been talking about this. Z, when did we call that we were getting out of Litecoin?
We called getting our Litecoin at like 15K Satoshis, like 15 or 16K Satoshis. I remember this. This is one of the moments was I was in the desert in Vegas because I was going to go. My buddy had a bad breakup. I was hanging out with him in Vegas, and I was about to run out of gas going towards the mountains to go ATVing, and I was like trying to go live with V and all the guys. And the last thing I said was, guys, Litecoin looks terrible for my phone. I'm like trying to survive. I might break down right now. Litecoin doesn't look good. And that was the last thing I said. But it was about
it's 100. Like Z, like his dying breath. Like he's going to die. It's like, no, I'm getting out of Litecoin.
So that was about 15K sats, guys. Unfortunately, Litecoin, has not been producing very much. And, I just, the FUD around Charlie Lee, we just need Charlie Lee to come out with more communication. So Charlie Lee is in a very, very weird spot, guys, because whether he did it for right or wrong position, whether he actually did sell his tokens just because he didn't want to be he didn't want to let people know that he is an investor of Litecoin and just the owner of Litecoin, just a creator, whatever reasons he had for Litecoin, people are going to speculate. Unfortunately, you're going to get assholes out there that speculate, and you're going to get assholes out there that spread FUD. It just happens. There's FUD spread about me. There's FUD spread about a ton of people, guys. It's just like that. People speculate even though they don't know. And, conspiracy theories get brought up with it. And
well, here's the thing with you guys. What listeners should really understand, and I've heard you say this before, you're not married to any coin. You guys spend all damn day in front of your computers looking for the next move. And it doesn't matter what it is. It could be a coin that you absolutely hate, but if the charts are speaking to you and you say, look, there's about to be some money to be made here, you guys are going to give the call out. So it doesn't matter if it's Litecoin or pick any coin really. So
exactly.
I do avoid calling out Al Qaeda coin. That's one that I
yeah.
I don't care. It's went 10x. I don't care.
Yeah. No.
Exactly what Jay Snip said, guys. We do not get married to any other coin. I actually did a portfolio snapshot on my channel last Friday. So I let everybody know what I'm into, guys. And last Friday, I think I was 88% in Bitcoin, guys. I love OneChain. I love Ven. I love all these other coins like Ontology and so forth, guys. But I don't own any of them right now because right now the opportune time to get in is just not there for me. And it doesn't look right for me to get in. So I'm just not going to get in. This is a different method. This is a different strategy that we adopt. No strategy is 100% correct. But
you guys have been doing damn well with it. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, and we're here, guys. We are doing the legwork for you guys. This is essentially what the Watchers Trade Room is, right? Cowboy and I are here doing the legwork. We're here 16 hours a day. We're here compiling the data so that you guys don't have to go scour the internet to find out that Huobi is trading OTC on rupees now, right? Because I just told you guys that because that's what I do. That's my job. Yeah, so it's just that's what we do, guys. When
I got into this game, and actually it was I hired somebody. I paid about $600, and I hired somebody to give me information about the crypto world, where to look, where to get educated. I paid that money to shave off the learning curve, right? So shave time off the learning curve. So now we're an entertainment channel. We're here for entertainment purposes only, and a lot of our entertainment. Like people can do their own research and it looks exactly like our entertainment. It's really amazing. And the information that we get is awesome. So I mean with Litecoin, how do I put this? It's one of the things that I've seen is that people make a bunch of money on a coin and it's like a drug. Literally it is. Like you have the dopamine thing. It's like a lot of gamblers, they have that issue. And so they associate that coin with massive gains and they hold on to that coin because they develop an emotional attachment via dopamine and probably some serotonin. I think it's chemical. And it's almost a natural thing to do. Oh, I love that coin. It made me a bunch of money back in 1994 or whatever. There weren't cryptos back then, but you guys know what I mean. So
Right.
I think that's like a natural thing to happen. And so, one of the things that we take a look at in this game is I got a question yesterday. Oh, well, I bought this. I bought TRX back in this time, and now it's down to this. What do I do? Well, okay, so, crypto, Nico Z and I have a couple of things we understand from economics. My major, actually, college is economics. And basically, there's something called sunk cost, like a sunken ship. And sunk costs has to do with what happened yesterday and what happened 5 minutes ago. So whatever trades have happened in the past in the way that I do things are completely irrelevant. They don't matter. If I got in a Bitcoin at like $1 and I'm now a multimillionaire or whatever, I still would rather have taken profit even though I'm way ahead now from where I started. So as somebody who like understands the concept of sunk cost, as well as opportunity cost, those people will understand that like your cost basis when it comes to income is irrelevant. And that's just an opinion. Doesn't mean that it's right. Doesn't mean it's wrong. It means that I tend to make more money. And that's what I'm here to do. So Litecoin might have made me a bunch of money in the past, but it's not making me money now, so I'm getting out. That's the upshot of understanding what a sunk cost is. Are there any other coins that people want to see right now?
Did we took a look at EOS yet or no?
EOS. No, we didn't. Oh man, EOS took a nasty fall today. Let me look at that real quick. Let's see. So this is a chart that I drew some time ago. So I like to hold on to those because, well, sometimes I'm right. It's always nice to be right. And so you're looking at basically a Fibonacci retracement to kind of see, Fibonacci is used to sort of predict where some of the chain, like the ups and downs are going to happen, right? So let me center this properly. I combine that with supports and resistances, which this one here, this what is 0.618 seems to be important. But we're actually bouncing off of the 786 is where we kind of are sort of bouncing right now. And the chart that I have predicted that we would do that. And, my little arrows are just a general idea. They don't necessarily follow any trajectory of any kind. But this arrow right here, this line right here, this is an ascending trend line that's actually been building over some time. If I zoom out, you can actually take a look at that. I'm having a hard time with my controls, so that's not going to happen for some reason. But so it's bounced off here. It's created this trend line over time. So the fact that we're still respecting that trend line is great. The problem is we're not respecting it very well right now. There we go. So that's, we're hitting it pretty hard. And if we continue to hit this thing, it's going to eventually fall through. So I'm not sure what's happening with EOS. Z, do you have any fundamental news on EOS at all?
Nothing has changed. So the whole premise right now, guys, that EOS, once again, these speculators, right? And EOS is a great project. I like EOS, but these speculators have now speculated that EOS raised all this money up. I think they raised like close to $4 billion. And at the end of the day, nothing happened. What is going on with EOS? How many dApps are being built on EOS? EOS had this whole grand thing where I even thought myself, I talked about on the live show, I talked about how they had 1,000 dApps that were going to be incubated on the EOS network as soon as the mainnet was launched. None of this happened, guys. Their voting hasn't been done. Their protocols are not done. All these things that were supposed to be done and implemented have not been done and implemented. And right now, EOS just looks like a giant project that raised up a ridiculous sum of money and is now, not doing anything with the money besides going to Vegas and partying. So it's not exactly the best look for EOS. And, once again, FUD spreads, guys. And the cryptocurrency market is very young. And it's very small. So what happens is that, it doesn't take very much for anybody to find these articles, these FUD articles on why EOS is a bad project. And then before you know it, it's shared across the space. That's what happens with these things, guys. It sucks. It really does suck because for all I know, guys, EOS could actually be a legitimate project that's good. A lot of these projects are good, but the problem is that if they don't communicate, if they're not actually holding up to their own, we saw that what happened with PPT, with how PPT, Nico was not coming up with their benchmarks. It's a great project, but hey, look, if you keep promising that all these benchmarks are going to get hit and none of them get hit, then you look, like whatever, the boy who cried wolf, right? You look like that. It's just like that, guys. It sucks.
It's a diminished credibility.
Exactly. There's the word, diminished credibility. And you only have your word, especially in this space, guys. When this space is so speculative.
That's the thing that a lot of people like really don't get. So the thing about cryptos that I love is it's still like relatively free. The regulations are coming in, and there's a lot of people who are ready. They want the regulation, but the reality is it's in such a space where all you have is your reputation in this space. There's no safety. I know somebody who like gave the wrong address, and his mandala that he bought went to the wrong address, and he can't get it. And it's ×4 since Crypto Neko Z told us about it. Like, you can't do anything about it. There's no safety. There's no nothing. It's that people learn lessons on their own. And so crypto's like that. Reputation's everything, guys.
I will say they were on my show. We were recording, and they did talk about that coin way back when. It wasn't that long ago, actually. And that could have been a killer one if anyone took that their advice on, or not really their advice, but again, watch them trade advice, if you will.
If anybody did their own research and came up with the same thing.
And the reason why, one of the reasons that really stood out for me for Mandala, guys, is because I straight up asked the CEO. I had all these conversations with these guys. They had an AMA session, which means ask. I can't even think about. Pretty much ask me anything, exactly. So they had 2 AMA sessions, guys. I was inside those AMA sessions blasting them with questions because I like doing that. And the first thing I asked them was, guys, right now on your ICO benchmarks, because you actually look up Mandala on the ICO benchmarks, it's saying that you guys are lacking an MVP, which is a minimal viable product. Is this true? Like, do you guys actually have an MVP, or like, what's going on with your product? Are you guys going to be developing this with our money that we're raising? Like, what's going on right now, right? And the guy goes, no, we actually do have an MVP, and on top of it, we actually have a final product that's going to be launched out alpha as soon as the ICO finished. And that gave me the confidence to then invest in Mandala because, hey, look, he actually has a product. It's actually there, and that can be said, more than 90% of the current projects that are out in the crypto space right now.
Oh yeah, and there have been some issues. Mandala is tradable on Fork Delta. I know Crypto Neko Z talked about that earlier. And basically, the Ethereum network has been a bit bogged down. Some of my buddies over in Asia are playing this, I think it's called FOMO 3D or something like that. And it's having the same effect as CryptoKitties did, if anybody remembers CryptoKitties. And actually, all of my trading at that time was, I was swing trading PPT and Very back in those days. That's all I did. That's it, all day. And it was all on Ether Delta. And so basically, Ethereum's taking a hit for that. The price is taking a hit because their network is being really slowed down. So just understand that is an issue out there. Ethereum's price might see some kind of effect in that. In fact, I think I've been seeing it already. Now, as to the chart that I just kind of geeked out in front of everybody, like who's watching me do this. I really overdid this chart. So I hope I'm not confusing people. But this is going back to EOS. So EOS is in this triangle that I'm going to draw to make things just a little bit clearer. So if we can get a bounce, basically, then we're going to have an ascending bullish triangle. And so if that happens, then it's likely to have an upside that'll test right here. See how this line bounces right here, right off this Fibonacci level. And this line bounced right off of this Fibonacci level, so it is respecting the Fibonacci levels. This also seems to be a non-Fibonacci sort of support/resistance right here. So I think we might bounce around and come up, or we'll go down. And I think the support is around 6,000 Satoshi if we actually drop. EOS, that has the issues that it does, I think it's going to get propped up. It certainly doesn't have a shortage of money. So I'm sure that they're going to come out with something with those billions of dollars. So What else do people want to see before we move forward?
Yeah, we got about 5 minutes left or so. Jason, if you want to, anything you want to touch base upon, whether it's a coin or something you want to say, something in the industry, anything you got, man.
I don't know if you've looked at Digibyte. Have you got you didn't pull that one up yet today, did you?
Yeah, take a look at Digibyte. Actually, you know what? I talked about this live when I was doing my live sessions, and Digibyte actually before, guys, was actually being before it had this little leg down, it was actually very, very strong comparable to its market. Comparable to the other altcoins. It didn't drop like where other altcoins were dropping like crazy, guys. Digibyte was not dropping, and it was actually very, very surprising. And I couldn't figure out why. Like I read around, I couldn't figure out why, and I still can't figure out why Digibyte is so strong. So if you got any insight on that, that's very interesting stuff because it actually has been doing very well.
Minecraft.
Yeah, I mean Digibyte before, they had a partnership with Minecraft, but I just don't understand how Digibyte has been able to do so well in this recent market. I really don't know, guys. This is mind blowing.
On a Digibyte, why it's doing well?
I don't have any info. I mean, I know they were helping out some orphanages with Digibyte over in Venezuela, but I mean, we're not talking huge numbers or even breaking news about it. Very few people actually knew about it. They've been trying to market it quite a bit. They've been on my channel, they've been on other channels, but again, I'm not seeing anything that even kind of stands out to me that says, oh my God, this is why Digibyte's just doing so good. And I mean, that's a good thing to see, obviously if we're investors in it, but I don't think anyone has a real reason. It's really interesting.
Yeah, it's doing well. I mean, especially comparable to the rest of the crypto space in the altcoin sector, guys. Digibyte has been very, very strong. It's been holding its own. It ramped all the way up to about high 680s. And then, it retraced a bit, but it's still been very, very strong comparable to the rest of the market. So if anybody has any comments, guys, please let us know. Please comment below. I actually would be very interested to know why Digibyte is doing so well.
Yeah, look at that. That's like what I wish Bitcoin looked like.
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. So Bittrex did a pair USDT to Digibyte pair. That's always good. Digibyte added to Jack's wallet. But see, none of this is still massive.
Not big.
Guys.
It's not big news.
It is holding its own, guys, which is says a lot, especially in this market. You look at other coins like Litecoin, ADA, like all these other coins, guys. They dipped. I mean, Ven dipped.
Hammered, yeah,
they all got hammered. But yeah, anyways, that's my 2 cents.
It's a payment platform. Is that correct?
Digibyte is a payment platform. It's also it's just a way to transact. So it can be utilized in many different things, not just payment, but it's just a way to transact very, very quickly. They arguably, some people say Digibyte is the fastest network out there, comparable to any network.
Even more so than Ripple?
Faster than Ripple, faster than EOS, faster than OneChain, faster than everything. And the cool thing about Digibyte is that Digibyte's been around for a long time. So
it has.
It's very interesting to see.
It's funny because it came from, Litecoin came from the code base of Bitcoin, and Digibyte comes from the code base of Litecoin, which is odd. But it sure is holding its own,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, just according to this chart, if I were to, I mean, it is showing some bullishness even at the current price. It just bounced, or it's had this resistance right there. Looks like it wants to bounce off of that general support is what it is now, because it broke the resistance. This became a support, and it looks like it wants to bounce right off of that. So we actually could, if we have enough bullishness in general, we could see a jump to the top of this triangle. And the way these triangles work is eventually it'll break out of that. Now, there is a way to kind of know how far it's going to go. Now, if I was ever, that's like what you do when you're a trader. You want to estimate how far a coin is going to go. There is a formula, and we will talk about that formula inside the Watch Us Trade room. Link is in the description. And, we take crypto payments now. This is amazing.
Yep.
So that's I know that's a big thing that a lot of people want to do is
one thing we didn't talk about the crypto payments, guys. It's 3 to 6 month packages, but you also get a discount. So you also get a 5% discount for 3 months, and you also get a 6% discount 10% discount for 6 months. And of course, we have the refer a friend program up. You guys were really asking for that, where you guys can get 10% off for referring a friend or all that good stuff. you and your friend, and you can keep stacking that discount up.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. So now, Joe, I know Joe, you've been pretty busy. We haven't seen you as much in the room over there, but I know you kind of keep it a bird's eye view. So you've seen, for example, last week when we had our little mini sort of alt party, I think I called Vib and I called ICN both, and I think they both like jumped up and hit their targets within the same day. So
I remember.
Have you had a chance to talk to your people and get their opinions on our entertainment?
I've had a few just reach out to me that, hey, these guys are on point. They've been pretty happy with what you guys have been doing. And there's always the occasional person that just doesn't have a lot of time on their hands, and they want to get a coin where they can wait weeks to make money. It's like, well, more of a swing trade, but it's like, there's action happening every day. If you're going to really do this and you want to make some money consistently, you got to be available to make the trade. That's a problem with some people that whether they have a full-time job, whatever they're doing, they're driving, whether driving to work or their job is actually driving. This isn't right for every single person out there, but the consistent trades that you guys have given, a number of people have reached out to me and said, yeah, this is really good stuff, Joe. I appreciate you, putting these guys in front of me. So yeah, that's overall, awesome. Very, very good, very good reviews.
One thing we've done that we found has helped a lot of people, because our guys are busy, they're always posting trades. And so some people just feel like if they're not sitting at their computer all day, they feel just thrown off when they see a trade that they can't act on. So Cowboy and I actually made a video that's available. I think it's actually on the homepage of our website, so you don't even have to be a subscriber to view it. If it's not on the homepage, it's on the Watch Us Trade Room page. But it's about trading for just 10 or 15 minutes a day and what that would look like. So you could, you could be the kind of person where you get up in the morning, you check on your trades, you move your stop losses, and you don't check back in until you get home at night or on your lunch hour. And most of our trades happen on Binance, which has a fantastic mobile app. You can do anything with it. I mean, nothing's as easy as the desktop app, right?
Sure.
But it's pretty close. I mean, you could do stop losses, you could do it all. So we actually made a video about that for people who are busy and they feel a little overwhelmed. And so, this is a situation where when you have time, you can pick a couple trades. And again, we don't tell you what to trade. It's just entertainment. But if your research coincides with ours, as Cowboy likes to say, you can set up a trade, set a stop loss, check on it the next morning. If you're in profit, you could move your stop loss, check on it at the end of the day. If you're in profit, move it even tighter, and not have to worry about it. You can kind of set it and forget it. So there's definitely something for everybody in there.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Very cool.
All right. Well, it's about time for Snoopy to have some dinner over here, my side of the world.
Nice. Well, real quick, everybody, as far as the long and short, we're at 61% long on Bitcoin, 38% short. So that means that the market right now is optimistic based on orders. So that's one thing to know. Thanks everybody. I really appreciate the opportunity to do this. This is what I love to do. And without the audience out there being very brave, having a lot of courage and taking their hard-earned money and putting it in the market, then I don't exist. So thank you all.
Absolutely.
Yep, exactly. Thanks, guys.
Jay Snip, thank you so much for joining us. And folks, it's going to be posted on Jay Snip's channel as well. And again, we got the crypto payment set up. Subscribe, like, and share. Go to Jay Snip's channel as well. Make sure you guys subscribe there if you haven't done so already. With that being said, we are over and out. Later, people.
Take care, everybody. See ya.